Hare Hare.
Hare
Yadavaya Namaha.
Oh, Father Govinda
Srimad Sudhanam.
Oh,
Pangon Langay Tegirim. Sri Gurum Dhinatharinam. Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Ready? Okay, third shower. Consideration of secondary rules. Fourth stream. Considerations of the relationship between secondary and primary regulations. Difference between Karma-kāṇḍa and Vaidhi-bhakti. What is the difference between Karma-kāṇḍa, which is following one's prescribed duties, and pure Vaidhi-bhakti? There is a vast difference between the two. Those who have developed detachment from material sense objects are eligible as sannyas in jnana yoga. Only persons with material desires are eligible for karma yoga. Individuals who have faith in the Bhava Tattva but have neither developed detachment, nirvana, nor excessive attachment to material actions, karma, ashakti, are eligible for bhakti. Note, Srimad Bhagavatam 11:27-8. Among these three paths, Jnana Yoga, the path of philosophical speculation, is recommended for those who are disgusted with material life and are thus detached from ordinary fruited activities. Those who are not disgusted with material life, having many desires yet to fulfill, should seek perfection through the path of Karma Yoga. If somehow or another, by good fortune, one develops faith in hearing and chanting my glories, such a person, being neither disgusted with nor very much attached to material life, should achieve perfection through the path of loving devotion to me.
So, one who has not taken sannyas in the Bhakti Yoga process
One who has not taken sannyas in the Bhakti Yoga process
is hereby suited for the Vaidhi-bhakti.
is here suitable for Vaidhi-bhakti.
Even sannyas in the Vaidhi-bhakti is also not the kind of sannyas like the jnana yogis.
Even a sannyas that is suitable in Vaidhi-bhakti, he is not like a sannyas mentioned in the Jnana Yoga.
He is not, he lives in an ashram. He doesn't live in the forest.
He lives in the ashram, he doesn't live in the forest.
People may have some attachment for material desires.
So people may have some attachments for material desires,
But they do everything as a devotional service of Vaidhi-bhakti.
but if we do everything as devotional service by the bhakti,
Then that's recommended.
then thus is recommended. One's own occupational duty, swadharma, maintenance of the body, the 9 states of the body, and the social activities are all present in Karma-kāṇḍa and also in Bhakti Parva, phase of devotion. Note from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:24-47. Impregnation, gestation, birth, infancy, childhood, youth, middle age, old age, and death are the 9 ages of the body. However, the difference is that in Karma-kāṇḍa, there are many conditions opposed to devotion, such as the desire for sensory pleasure in the form of service to many gods, material honor, some form of violence to living beings, respect based on birthright due to the same caste, etc. In the life of a devotee following Vaidhi-bhakti, there is service only to Vishnu, love for transcendental subjects, service to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas who have perfected in their characteristics of virtue, and non-violence in the form of kindness to all living beings. These qualities are very prominent.
So, this quality of Vaidhi-bhakti is very much required in devotional service.
So this quality of Vaidhi-bhakti is very much required in devotional service.
If someone dies for his country, he is considered a patriot.
So, like, if somebody is dying for his country, he's considered a patriot.
But Vaidhi-bhakti, they only serve Krishna as the ultimate.
But Vaidhi-bhakti, they mainly serve Krishna as the ultimate goal.
Vaidhi-bhakti will perform. Eventually, that becomes Raganuga-bhakti.
So when we perform Vaidhi-bhakti, eventually it becomes Raganuga Bhakti.
That when we spontaneously want to serve Guru and Krishna,
But when we spontaneously want to serve Guru and Krishna,
so here it mentions the qualities of Vaidhi-bhakti.
so here is mentioned the qualities of a Vaidhi-bhakta.
Serves on the original love for transcendental subjects, serves the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas,
Service only to Vishnu, love for transcendental subjects, service to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas,
who have perfected the characteristic of virtue and non-violence.
who have perfected in the characteristics of virtue and non-violence.
So, the eating a vegetarian diet has been signifies non-violence to animals.
So eating a vegetarian diet is considered like a non-violence.
Next.
Next. Relationship between Vaidhi-bhakti and Varnashram Dharma. It should now be seen what the relationship is between the previously mentioned Varnashram Dharma and Vaidhi-bhakti. The question is, does one have to abandon or renounce Varnashram Dharma to take shelter of Vaidhi-bhakti, or should one practice Vaidhi-bhakti by duly following that Dharma? As previously stated, the primary significance of Varnashram Dharma is to maintain the body well, to cultivate and develop mental faculties, beautifully to engage in social welfare, and to receive spiritual education for the purpose of practicing pure devotion. Note, Srimad Bhagavatam 1:532-36. O Brahmana Vyasadev, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. O good soul, does not a thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing? Thus, when all of a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which cause his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his names, and his qualities. Haribol. Every 15 minutes, I need to take some medicine. Can drops? Tissue? You want me to continue or we could go up because
Oh, Allah.
okay. As long as humans are bound in a material body, the necessity of Varna Ashram Dharma cannot be denied by anyone. If denied, due to the lack of the aforementioned fourfold education, the life of living beings will go astray, and not kind of welfare will be achieved. Observance of Varna Ashram Dharma is not an absolute necessity. Therefore, for the welfare of the body, mind, society, and spiritual essence, one should follow the rules of Varnashram Dharma, knowing them to be appropriate guidelines. The practice of Varnashram Dharma is not the ultimate need of the living being. Therefore, one should practice devotion favorable with that Dharma. Varnashram Dharma is needed only to practice bhakti.
So, some people are very much in favor of the Varnashram Dharma.
So some people are very much in favor of Varnashram Dharma.
But Lord Chaitanya told to Ramananda Rai that this was external
But Lord Chaitanya talked to Ramananda Roy that this was external.
And he said, he said that pure devotion for Krishna.
And he accepted pure devotion for Krishna.
So the Varnashram Dharma is useful guideline,
So the Varnashram Dharma is a useful guideline,
but the real purpose is devotion to Krishna.
but the real purpose is devotion to Krishna.
So Varnashram is only as useful as it promotes devotional service
So Varna Ashram Dharma is only useful as it promotes devotional service
or bhakti.
or bhakti.
But
Can you all hear me properly? Okay. The steps to cultivate bhakti. Now the consideration is whether, given the extensive duties of Varna Ashram Dharma, one finds time for the cultivation of devotional service. Note, Srimad Bhagavatam 11:27-6. My dear Uddhava, there is no end to the innumerable Vedic prescriptions for executing deity worship. So I shall explain this topic to you briefly, one step at a time. What should one do when conflicts arise? Firstly, it is stated that if the body, mind, society, and spiritual existence are not protected and nourished, how will be the higher endeavor, which is bhakti, be effective? If premature death occurs, or if mental disrise and disease arise, or if severe immoral conduct and bad association come along with social upheaval, or if one does not receive proper spiritual education, how will the seed of bhakti, which is faith, have the opportunity to germinate in the heart? On the other hand, if one abandons Varnashram Dharma and adopts a life of anarchy, those physical and mental efforts will be engaged in extreme debauchery. It will always engage the living entity in abominable activities, and no symptoms of bhakti will arise. Therefore, even though Varnashram Dharma may be extensively time consuming, it should be accepted as a favorable for the practice of bhakti.
so the purpose of Varnashram Dharma is to practice bhakti.
So the purpose of Varnashram Dharma is to practice bhakti.
And this was written about 1800 and something.
And this is written about like in 1800 or something.
And he previously said that one ashram is not helping one's bhakti, it's not useful.
And previously he has stated that if Varnashram Dharma doesn't bring up bhakti or is engaged in bhakti, then it's not useful.
So we should understand that the purpose of Varnashram is to achieve bhakti.
So we should understand that the purpose of Varnashram Dharma is to achieve bhakti.
And basic tenets of Varnashram are to regulate your life, uh, moral goodness.
And we should take the Varnashram as a way to regulate our life and stay in the mood of goodness.
and practice bhakti yoga.
And in that way, practice Bhakti Yoga. Note, Srimad Bhagavatam 1847. It is
Bhagavad Gita.
oh, sorry, Bhagavad Gita 1847. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions. By practicing the regulative devotional service, the initially prolonged and time-consuming nature of Varnashram Dharma will gradually shorten. The limbs, components of Varnashram Dharma, will progressively transform into parts of pure devotion. Initially, by observing the principle of Varnashram Dharma properly, one should practice the 5 types of devotions as instructed by the Lord, to the best of one's ability. The aspect of Varnashram Dharma that are unfavorable to devotion should gradually be abandoned. Finally, in the life of a Vaishnava, Varnashram Dharma will be imbued with devotion and in a supremely sattvic manner, will serve as a servant of sadhana bhakti, and will be present without mutually opposing karma and bhakti. Through the practice of bhakti, the life of a brahmana will attain the absence of material possessions and will accept the spiritual equality of the life of a shudra imbued with devotion. The life of a shudra, also illuminated by the service attitude towards the Lord and the devotees, will achieve the equality of the life of a brahmana without material possessions. At that time, the purity of a Vaishnava brotherhood will illuminate the life of the 4 Varnas, so much that it will almost feel like the beginning of Vaikuntha life. When disturbance caused by bodily identification are minimized, supreme equality amongst living entities will thus be possible.
So here, Bhakti Thakur is recommending that by practicing pure devotion,
So here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is recommending that by practicing pure devotion,
gradually the Varnashram Dharma will become spontaneous.
then gradually the Varnashram Dharma will become spontaneous.
It will become a part of Bhakti Yoga.
It will become a part of Bhakti Yoga.
So if one practices Bhakti Yoga, Vaidhi-bhakti properly, then naturally one awakens their bhakti.
So if one's practice Vaidhi-bhakti properly, naturally, it will awaken our bhakti.
So,
Note, Srimad Bhagavatam 11, 29, 14. Such a man sees equally the Brahmana and the outcast, the thief and the charitable promoter of Brahminical culture, the sun and the tiny sparks of fires, the gentle and the cruel. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, outcast. Bhagavad Gita 5:18.
So, practicing Vaidhi-bhakti, one sees everything in a more equal way.
So by practicing Vaidhi-bhakti, one see everything in a more equal way.
Pandita Samadarshina.
Pandita Samadarshinaha.
So, the spirit soul is the same in all these entities.
So the spirit soul sees all these entities.
The spirit soul in all these two entities is the same.
The spirit souls in all these entities is the same.
But how they have developed their consciousness is the difference.
But how they have developed their consciousness, that's the difference.
And so, when we have true knowledge,
So one may have true knowledge,
then we see all these entities as having the same soul.
and they see all these entities as having the same soul. One who has true knowledge. Okay, Varnashram and Vaidhi-bhakti. Just as the life of the atheistic morality attains a faultless state upon the rise of theistic morality in the form of Varnashram Dharma by merging into it, similarly, upon the rise of Vaidhi-bhakti, the theistic morality brings an extraordinary transformation in the life of a devotee, free from previous faults. Varnashram Dharma's worship of the Lord was on part with the other moral principles. When incorporated into the life of a devotee, this Dharma elevates the worship of the Lord to the highest priority among all duties. All other moral principles within Varnashram Dharma are counted as servants of the worship of the Lord. Although at first glance this change may seem significant, when this dedication becomes strong, it imparts a new, superior form to life. There is a wonderful difference between the life of Varnashram Dharma and the life of a Vaidhi devotee.
So, we are interested in seeing all the residents of Mayapur and visitors to Mayapur as Vaidhi-bhaktis.
So we're very interested to see that all the residents of Mayapur and all the visitors of Mayapur have Vaidhi-bhakti.
So, that way, the devotional service to the Lord becomes the overriding reality.
In that way, the devotional service to the Lord becomes the overriding reality.
So, the life of someone who just follows an ashram, the life of someone who engages in devotional service is totally different.
So the life of someone following Varnashram Dharma and the life of someone following devotional service is very different.
They see all the Vaidhi-bhakti. He sees all the devotional service as the main thing, and ashram.
So the Vaidhi Bhakta, he see the devotional service as the main thing. And the Varna Ashram Dharma follower,
he doesn't see devotional service. He doesn't see the devotional service.
he don't see the devotional service.
And then he's saying, hey, this is devotional service, one of the moral principles.
So he see the devotional service as one of the principles.
But Vaidhi-bhakti, Bhakta sees devotional service higher and all the financial principles are just support all the Vaidhi-bhakti.
By the Vaidhi-bhakta, he sees the Varna Ashram Dharma and all the different principles supporting Vaidhi-bhakti.
So when one is doing sadhana bhakti or Vaidhi-bhakti, then devotion to the Lord is the highest principle, and all the others are subservient.
So when one is practicing Vaidhi-bhakti, the devotional service to the Lord becomes the main principle, and all the other things are just servants.
Bhakti-Thakur,
Bhaktivinoda Thakur,
he says
he says
that this difference may appear insignificant,
that this difference may appear insignificant,
but
but
when this dedication becomes strong, it imparts a new superior form of life.
but when this dedication is strong, it implies a superior form to life.
Hello.
Do a break for medicine. Every human being is eligible. Every human being is eligible for bhakti. It has been stated in the scriptures that every human being is eligible for bhakti.
Bhakti is the natural duty of the living entity.
Bhakti is the natural duty of the living entity, and all the efforts should be made for that purpose.
So we should see every entity as being eligible for bhakti.
So we should see every living entity as to be eligible for bhakti.
It's not something extraneous. Prabhupada said it's a natural thing.
So Prabhupada say it is a natural thing.
It's like a baby learns how to walk.
It's like when a baby learns how to walk,
They have a natural capacity to walk.
because babies, they have the natural capacity to walk.
And similarly, a natural capacity is to have bhakti for the Supreme Lord.
And similarly, our natural capacity is to have bhakti for the Supreme Lord. Okay. I read this. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:6-19. My dear sons of demons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan is the original Super Soul, the father of all living entities. Consequently, there are no impediments to pleasing Him or worship Him under any conditions, whether one be a child or an old man. The relationship between the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always a fact. And therefore, there is no difficulty in pleasing the Lord.
It's natural to love Krishna.
It is natural to follow Krishna,
Love Krishna.
to love Krishna.
And like God, he's talking to the sons of the demons.
And here, this quote is talking to the sons of the demons.
But he's saying that there's no impediment to serving Krishna.
But he's saying that there is nothing better than to serve Krishna.
There's no impediment.
There is no impediment.
So we have a great opportunity by serving Panditattva, Radhamada, and Sasaki, Radhamada, and Vaidhi-bhakti.
So we have a great opportunity by serving Panchatattva, Radha Madhava, Astasaki, and Mayapur Chandra, and Radha Madhava,
Lord Narasimhadev.
and Lord Narasimhadev.
So this facility is offered to us.
So this facility is offered to us.
So here in Mayapur, we can worship the Lord, worship Prabhupada.
So here in Mayapur, we can serve the Lord and Srila Prabhupada. We can worship.
And
Herein, it is acknowledged that all individuals situated in the 4 varnas and the 4 ashrams are eligible for bhakti. Even those who are considered outcasts are counted among the humans are eligible for bhakti, but they do not have as much facility in attaining bhakti. Their birth, association, actions, and inclinations are so illegitimate that their lives are always akin to that of animals and grows in the material attachments. Regarding devotees to their bellies, the maintenance of their livelihoods, they are always extremely selfish, hostile to others, and unkind. Their hearts are hard. Therefore, the path of bhakti is attained with some endeavor.
so in this paragraph, it's easier for those in the Varnashram system to take up bhakti.
So here it is explained that it's easy for those in the Varnashram system to take up bhakti.
It's a little more difficult for outcasts,
It's a little more difficult for the outcast,
but they can do it
but they can do it
if they try.
if they try. Nitagora Pramanande
Oh,
Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga.
I was outcast,
I was outcast,
but I tried for bhakti.
but I tried for bhakti.
I got it
I got it. Nitagora Pramanande.
to some extent, a little bit.
A little bit. You want to finish the note or we finish here? Okay, we finish the note. Srimad Bhagavatam 7634. Prahlad Maharaj continue. My dear friends, born of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life according to one's past fruited activities. Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress. Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in a loss of time and energy, with not actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed towards Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. Their eligibility for bhakti can be seen through the histories of devotees like Sri Haridas Thakur, the hunter disciple of Narada, Jesus, Paul, and others. However, it is also observed that they face many difficulties in accepting the path of bhakti, so much so that they did not have the advantage of maintaining their devotional life for a long time. Although all human beings are eligible for bhakti, those who follow the Varnashram principle have a distinct advantage and eligibility.
So Radha was saying
Srila Prabhupada saying
that he wanted to establish an ashram,
that he wanted to establish Varnashram,
but what that was is still not clear to everyone.
but what that was is still not clear for everyone.
Here you see that Vaidhi-bhakti is important
Here we see that Vaidhi-bhakti is important
and that the Varnashram Dharma helps her.
and that the Varnashram Dharma helps. Them.
I was suggesting that people living in foreign countries they can try to get permission to preach in the churches.
So people who are living in foreign countries, sometimes they get permission to preach in churches.
I was invited to lecture in the uh, Universal Church,
So I was invited to give a lecture in the Universal Church,
and they're quite open.
and they're quite open.
They start Bible, Gita, Quran, etc.
They respect the Bible, the Gita, the Quran, etc.
And so I preached why I preached to them.
So I preached to them,
They were very favorable.
and were very favorable.
I was in Philadelphia,
That was in South Africa
Philadelphia,
and Philadelphia,
United States,
United States,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
And when I went to California,
And when I went to California,
I looked up this Universal Church.
I was told that this Universal Church,
I lecture several times in San Domingo.
And I also give lectures several times in Santo Domingo.
I went, I gave a lecture in a church in Laguna Beach.
And also I give a lecture in the church in Middle East.
Laguna Beach
And Laguna Beach, sorry,
in America.
in America also.
But if you get a chance,
But if you get a chance
any church,
in any church,
then I do his spiritual amendment with the God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind.
so the Bible says we should follow God with all your soul, all your mind, all your heart.
Oh God.
Love God.
So when I was in Christianity,
So when I was in Christianity,
I didn't learn how to love God.
they didn't learn how to love God.
But here in Bhakti Yoga,
But here in Bhakti Yoga,
they learn how to love God.
we learn how to love God.
Uh,
So
we need
we need
spread
to spread
Krishna consciousness
Krishna consciousness
throughout the world.
throughout the world.
So, so uh, I saw them teaching here to these Muslims.
So I saw when I was preaching here to the Muslims,
Um, there's stars in the sky,
so the stars in the sky,
turn it over, connected to the stars, Lord Chaitanya.
sorry, I missed that, Guru Maharaj.
Uh, trying to
So you turn it over
uh, connect the stars
and connect the stars,
and it's Lord Chaitanya.
and as Lord Chaitanya.
So he said, see Lord Chaitanya in Islam.
So we say, you see, you can see Lord Chaitanya in the Islam.
They don't use much uh, intellectual process,
So they don't use much intellectual process.
but so you can any opportunity to preach, do it.
So you can see, if you see any opportunity to preach, do it. Okay. The end. Nitai Gaura Pramanande. Muladhani Guru Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Guru Maharaj is blessing all the devotees.
Krishna Vaidhi-bhakti.
Krishner Matirastu. Jai. Srila Guru Maharaj ki. Jai. Dear devotees, welcome to Guru Maharaj's virtual book table. Srila Prabhupada wrote to His Holiness Samala Krishna Goswami on December 28, 1974. Let everyone take these books. If he simply reads one page, then he is getting something substantial, a real eternal benefit. Or if he hands it over to his friend and he reads one page, the same result is there. So, continue these festivals constantly and make them all Krishna conscious. Overflood the whole country by this preaching work. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Remember Marathon slogan, live to give. So today we have our Nitya Saivites, Balachandra Channa, Vinita Gandharvika, Devidasi, Balavrinda, 4 small books. From Kasa Desh we have Damini, Devidasi and her family, 1 Bhagavad Gita and 10 small books. Exactly. A 1:10 ratio as per Srila Prabhupada instructions to Guru Maharaj. Thank you for being an exemplary example, Damini Devidasi. And Gayatri Devidasi, 1 Bhagavad Gita, and Wanglan, you 1 Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai. Also, these devotees get a special Narsimha Puja in a few hours from now in Sridham Mayapur. And all of you devotees also, please call Nitai Gauranga and bless them. Nitai Gauranga. Guru Maharaj was thanking all of you for sponsoring Bhagavad Gita and other books in order to fulfill the desire of Srila Prabhupada, an instruction given to Guru Maharaj. While thanking those who are helping Guru Maharaj in his book distribution, Guru Maharaj says in his own words, I am reading what Guru Maharaj spoke, that, of course, Srila Prabhupada told all of us to be Krishna conscious, to help others to be Krishna conscious and chant Hare Krishna. But he told me that I should also see that every month 10,000 Mahabig books are distributed and 1,100,000 small books. So I have this big debt that I have to pay every month. So I need a lot of help. I don't know how much that is now with interest, because that was told in the 1970s. So with interest, maybe that is much more now. So Mayapur Sankirtan Party helps by distributing books. But anyone here wants to help me pay my debts? This is Srila Guru Maharaj's question for all of us. So please answer with your service. Please pause on this wonderful and absolute wonderful opportunity of participating in the pastime of Guru Maharaj in distributing Srila Prabhupada books, even if it's a single Bhagavad Gita and 10 small books. Of course, it's 1:10 ratio if possible. Anytime, 24 hours, both day and night, can you please do message to the Guru Maharaj virtual book table at +91 94 34 76 04 02. Stay tuned for tomorrow's Lord Chaitanya class, and let's pray intensely for Guru Maharaj's speedy and full recovery. I think tomorrow is having dialysis again. So let's pray intensely. And of course, our prayers include for all those who are celebrating their anniversaries today, for their well-being and blissful Krishna consciousness. Please join me in the prayers intensely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Vaishnav Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patithanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Srila Guru.